why plastic cups say don't hold it out, but this time you guys can see we had much.
OK， 别。嗨，大家，所以今天的影片呢，我们就要来揭穿网上吵架的太久了，我已经忘记了这个系列叫什么名字了。before 这个影片开始之前，我要讲我挑战的那些无喷砂五角水slime，我会挑战无喷砂五角水，可是我也会挑战五角水和无喷砂，只是我当然会尽量选多一点无喷砂五角水咯。可是有时候还是难以避免，你知道吗
？Even amounts of honey and shampoo together and then add a little bit of water. So that is of course what we're gonna do right now because we want to make a slime. One weird thing about this is it doesn't say how much honey and shampoo you're supposed to add, but it has a specific amount of water. So I don't know how well I'm following the recipe from the comment that you guys left. Air container. Took a long time and it's a little messy, but I'm gonna just check back in with you guys once it's fully cleared up. So here's how our honey slime turned out. Because the slime has such a thin texture, it did not take long at all for it to clear up. The slime was very sticky because obviously when you make slime and honey, two of like the stickiest things ever, together, you can kind of expect it to be sticky.
Wow, 真的做到 slime 啊？哦，真的做到 slime 诶！哇哦！我是觉得很神奇啦，这个 recipe 讲真的很假啦。不过如果真的做到，就好像上次那个肥皂加水，潘婷的宣布还有水。其实我现在看不到我样子，因为那个麦顶住哦。如果那个麦顶住的位置，就真正是我的脸。为什么我每次不可以？我不知道为什么我每次不可以好好的拍一个影片。Anyways 我们买这是为了吃的，不是拿来做实验，没有关系啊，他不会怪我的，只要他没有看到这影片。他的宣布是用透明的，可是我没有看到。我觉得是没有分别啦，我加多一点宣布。OK， 然后要加一点点水。就加这样子吧。不过他做到很厉害耶，怎么我做不到这样？就是有 slime 的样子哎，我没有哎。他也没有讲要放在旁边挤久，我觉得成功不到啊。OK， 所以下一个。
The cup that have a logo on it and also the lip of the cup because I think those parts of it will be hard to melt. And I'm also just gonna cut it in half so that it is one straight piece so that when we melt it, everything will get melted. I'm gonna see if this will actually melt. Because it's getting a lot looser and it feels very bendy and soft. Round of testing this. Exposed enough so it only melts on the outside. That is why I feel like this piece was kind of a fail because there's not much putty on it, but I am happy to see at least that this recipe is starting to work because you guys can see we have our first little piece of slime.
Wow.
Only let it sit in there for like 2 minutes before we pulled it out, but this time you guys can see we had much more of a thorough melt and I was able to gather a bigger piece off of it.
所以 plastic 跟热水可以做 slime。OK。哇哦，有一点惊艳 ，so 我也要做一下。我不知道这个可不可以啦，这个如果我做成的话，你们一定也可以做到成功。所以 let's try。看了这东西2分钟，我已经累了。这个哈尼尔我们等到最后再看它什么分别。所以我们现在去加热水吧 ，Let's go，Let's go。有看到那个热气吗？大家在家里不要试哦。这要等几久可以等到它融化？水是不够热吗？很热啊，很热耶！怎么融不到这样？很像。没有，完全没有融。啊，烫死我！这个水为什么？ 水，然后我放进那个 microwave 里面，让它热一下，再拿出来看一下有什么反应。现在我们先做下一个。
Need some Model Magic air dry clay, and you're also going to need some body lotion. So I'm using a bowl here, but you don't really need a bowl to do this. Anyway, I'm gonna add in a lot of body lotion into the clay. So I'm kind of like mushing it together, and then I'm gonna start like kneading it. And you basically just want to add in lotion until the clay gets like very stretchy. So at this stage here, my clay was still breaking apart very easily. So I went ahead and I added in some more body lotion, and honestly, it just made this slime recipe so much better. Like butter slime, it's very stretchy and it also spreads very nicely.
OK， 还有一个 body lotion， 请你们珍惜我1秒。我真的是买这些东西为了拍影片，真的是没有用的嘛，完全在我人生中。很像以前在课室的时候，那些印度英文老师哦，他们经过我的时候会闻到的那种味道。我没有讲这个味道臭 ，OK？ 叮叮，还有少一个。这个油腻的感觉啊，我心动的指甲。我人生中没有把这样的 lotion 放在我身上的一天，真的是非常的油腻。大家我没有不享受哦。哎呦，Oh my god！ 那今天是我人生中手最滑的一次。我拉的时候它还是会断掉，我拉的时候它就是立刻，那个粘土已经在里面被埋没。大家我不行了，我老子不干了。Anyway， 我带着我的，还是没有融化耶，连这样小片的都没有融化。我觉得如果你把这个水弄再热一点，它应该会融啦。可是我家里的水这样热哦，这实验就失败了，因为那水不够热，还是怎样？失败了，然后你们也不要做哦。
For the next slime recipe, you're going to need glue tack and some foaming hand soap. And I'm going to start working with it using my hands. Again, I'm doing the same thing like I was doing earlier. I'm kind of not as spreadable, but it is very stretchy, just like regular slime.
OK， 所以我买了一模一样的，也不是一模一样，还有一个 Tic Tac。OK， 所以我示范给你们看什么是 foaming hand soap。我只是希望它不要掉到我桌子吧。它本来是很黏的东西，可是你加 foaming hand soap 过后，它就会变不黏嘞。可是它是那一种只可以拉伸的史莱姆，而且你要用一点力啊，你拉的时候，不然它会，如果你没有用力，它就这样。你要拉泡也拉不太到。它的史莱姆就这样子吧。所以你们觉得这样子是成功还是不成功呢？
And body lotion. I'm using the same body lotion that I was using earlier, and it's pretty much the same thing. You want to go ahead and add in a lot of body lotion and start kneading it into it. You want to keep it very spreadable, and it has a very nice texture to it once you start spreading it out.
下一个 recipe 就是用这个，你知道刚刚那个情况，我们现在用安婷的 conditioner， 我喜欢它的触感，它很像一粒面团现在。它整个制作方法就是你放这个 conditioner 在这个 Play-Doh 上面，什么 conditioner 都可以。虽然这样子的，它很软啊，触感很好，可是它是拉不到哦，它就很容易断哦，一拉就会这样。所以
Recipe, you're going to need 4 tablespoons of cornstarch. I'm using the brand Dawn here, but I don't think the brand really matters for this recipe. Now you want to start mixing both of these ingredients together. So as you can see, it's going to start forming a dough, a few drops of yellow food coloring because I want to get a nice green color here. So I'm just going to keep stirring this, and then I'm going to go in with my hands and start kneading it so that it forms into a dough. If your mix is too wet, you can add in more cornstarch, and if it's too dry, you can add in more dish soap. My measurements were surprisingly fine, so I didn't need to add like more of anything, just like butter slime would have.
Cornstarch dish soup。下次我要再做什么 recipe， 我根本就不用出去买材料，我真的是什么材料都有。我拍一次这种影片，我要收拾600次那个桌子。OK， 再加入 dish soup。不过我刚才看，觉得它做出来也没有很成功啊。哦，其实这个还蛮容易做的，可是我做出来那种牛顿液体，你懂吗？它做出来就这样子哦。 Yes， 最成功还是那个 Tic Tac 的吧，这些都是要成功，又很像其实也还好，所以我不觉得这是成功的。OK， 下一个。
My room actually on my desk, so that's why it looks really different. And I'm gonna get adding in the dish soap. And I'm just gonna add about that much. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna get mixing it together. And you're just gonna want to mix it a lot till it starts bubbling up just like this right now. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna put this into the freezer for about 1 hour to 2 hours, and every 30 minutes I'm gonna take it out and mix it up a lot, getting thicker. It's actually forming into slime. So I'll see you guys in about a second. And I actually just took it out of the freezer, and it turned out really awesome. It's super thick. I actually was playing with it for a little bit, I'll tell you guys that, because it was really sticky and stuff, and it wasn't really like slime. This one turned out awesome, as you can see. And it also smells just like the dish soap, and I love the smell of dish soap.
当你知道一个 recipe 会失败，可是你还是要 try。超假的那可能你放一个 dish soap 放进冰箱，它就自动变有拉伸性啊。像我这整罐就是整罐的透明史莱姆啊。我不知道为什么还要搅拌一个 dish soap。What is the point？ 它没有东西给它搅拌。Anyways， 我们现在要放进冰箱里面30分钟。OK。盐。哦，我有浇水。我是没有试过这样特别的史莱姆方法。Let's try， 真的好累哦，今天是什么实验天？大概是这样子吧。再加白胶进去，所以就可以做到史莱姆哦。他讲。大家，我的胶水融在里面了，它融化在里面了，大家。这边白胶水啊 ，like，hello，oh my god， 可以不要这样骗我吗？它是立刻成为史莱姆，你知道为什么立刻成为史莱姆？因为它开始的水里面是喷洒水来的，所以它一放胶水进去就变史莱姆哦，聪明吧？聪明如我，我跟着它的方法就变成一堆白胶水。这时候呢，就是要搬出我们的喷洒水。只是跟影片里面的很像的这史莱姆，因为它就这样做出来了。他可以不要把他的观众当成是白痴嘛？我不想讲啊，可是我们已经失败了600多个。我们要来 update 一下我们的糖宣布史莱姆，他出来的状况是人家史莱姆了，我出来的状况是什么呕吐吗？哦，很恶心。我们来看最后一个。
I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make slime out of dish soap and also some ice, so let's get into it. Starting off, I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit of salt into our bowl of ice. This is going to help lower the temperature of the ice so it's extra cold for when we put our slime in. I'm using the classic blue Dawn dish soap, but you can try this with any dish soap. I'd recommend testing out a little bit of your dish soap before making a big batch so that you don't waste any dish soap. Adding in too much, because if you add too much salt, it will actually melt your dish soap and it will never form a slime. I'm sure everyone's wondering how the slime is when you play with it, so I'm going to show you guys right now. You don't have to do this, but I decided to let my slime sit overnight so everything would kind of melt and become a little bit more uniform. It will make your slime a little bit more sticky, but it definitely will still be holdable. Because the slime is made out of dish soap, you're going to have a little bit more of a sticky texture, but you can still poke it and stretch it. You just have to be a little bit more careful when you're...
我是不想讲啊，为什么那 dish soap 会变黏黏呢？是不是因为它放了胶水？ OK， 别。我刚刚要讲那个冰拿不出来，然后那个冰就飞出来了。like， 他讲要撒一点盐，我撒一点盐在上面，然后就要放，再撒一点盐。 快哦！大家，我是没有感觉到它要成型啦。所以它现在跟之前的 dish soup 是没有分别，完全没有分别。OK， 所以现在已经过了半个小时，我把刚刚的那个放进冰箱里面的 dish soup 拿出来了。我只能讲，它现在是被冰了的洗碗液，完全没有要成为史莱姆的意思，它就是纯粹变冰了一点点。我现在搅拌了有一段时间了，可以放回去半个小时，5点再拿出来看有什么分别。OK， 所以今天的影片就结束了。我们今天就测试了9款史莱姆。其实我是很期待那个塑料杯的那个会成功的，也不知道是我的热水不够热，还是我的杯不够软。如果你们有什么建议，可以在下面跟我讲。OK， 所以今天的影片就结束了，然后希望你们喜欢啦，我们下一次再见，拜拜。下雨哦。